This new fashion trend is getting out of hand this year. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Fashion Tip Fridays, where every other Friday I discuss fashion tips, hacks, trends, and things of that sort. For this week's episode, I want to talk about a specific trend that's starting to blow up in the sneaker community, and that trend is mismatching sneakers. I think, at least from my perspective, this trend started to make waves specifically this year ever since the announcement of the Sean Wotherspoon Asics collaboration. In my opinion, that sneaker just looks really wild, really vibrant, and really captivating. The colors are really crazy on that one, and you also have all those customizing options with the Asics logo. And again, it was just getting a lot of buzz in the sneaker community. And so adding on to that, over the past several months, particularly Nike and Jordan started coming out with a handful of sneakers that also had the mismatched theme. For example, you have those Air Max 95s in that Greedy Colorway. There was a pair of Jordan 1 mids that came out. I think it's inspired by Luka Doncic, the NBA player, but those had mismatching green and purple on it. There were the What the 4s Jordan retros that came out not too long ago, and also the soon-to-be anticipated What the Jordan 5s. So I actually have two pair of shoes here that are kind of mismatched. Not exactly as wild or exactly the same as those other previous examples, but they're more or less a similar concept. This pair here is a pair of Saucony Grin 9000s, and they did a collab with an Italian sportswear company called Inner. As you can see here, these two sneakers have some contrasting hits of olive and gold on the medial and lateral side of each shoe. This other pair here is a pair of Air Force Ones in this Vachetta tan colorway, but as you can see, there are some contrasting swooshes, one side being a nice black, and the other side being this cool silver reflective colorway. And so each side of each shoe has a contrasting different colored swoosh. So anytime I see mismatching sneakers, the first thing I'm always thinking to myself is, how would I style those shoes in a tasteful way? What other kind of outfits can I put together to make the shoes look good? And honestly, I'm gonna be blunt about this one. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I think there are only two answers to that question. The first option you have is pairing the shoes with a neutral color. Neutral can mean black, white, or gray, maybe even tan sometimes. These neutral colors just always go with everything, and you really just can't mess it up. The second and only other logical answer to that question is pairing the mismatching shoes with one other color that's on that shoe, preferably the darker one. So for the example of these Sauconys, I can either opt for an olive green colorway or a gold colorway to wear up top to match the sneakers. So I guess I can go with the gold, which is a nice touch and a nice match. The only downside about that is that it's almost too bright to the point where it might take away from the sneakers itself. And that's why I personally would opt more for the olive green, because it's a little more on the subtle end of the visual spectrum, and it's gonna allow the shoes to stand out more. And that's it. I think those are really the two only viable options on what outfits you can pull off with mismatching sneakers. Anything else otherwise just wouldn't really work out, and here's why. So I want you to think about this for a second. When you see shoes like these that are mismatched, wouldn't you agree that these are definitely more on the wild or the vibrant or the loud side of the spectrum? And if this is a style that you like, wouldn't you agree that you would want these shoes to stand out? Just by themselves, they do stand out, and they pretty much make a statement. Hence why I call these a highlight piece or a spotlight piece. These are definitely not to be worn subtly or low-key, and I would think that if you have these on your feet, you would want these to be the standout piece or the attention grabber of your outfit. Otherwise, if you're just trying to dress them down, then you pretty much defeated the purpose of these shoes. And so with that being said, imagine trying to pair these kind of shoes with something like, say, a big graphic t-shirt, a shirt with some huge logos on it, or maybe even trying to match multiple colors at the same time. If you have a busy top like that, then I think that would totally take away from the sneakers. And so your fit, although there may be some coherency, I think too many logos and distractions are gonna take away from the shoe, and people are not gonna exactly know where to draw their attention to. So I like to think of fashion and outfits as art. When your intention is to dress, to impress, or to flex, bars, the goal is to appeal to the human eye, isn't it? So when you're trying to rock mismatched sneakers, you just gotta have a good balance between the vibrant and the loud and balance it out with some more subtlety. So for the purpose of this video, I don't want to dive too much into the aspect of color theory and the physiology and psychology behind visual perception, but long story short, bright and contrasting colors will always draw a lot more attention to the human eye than dark and subtle colors. And if your goal is to be flexing these mismatched sneakers, then you can't really be wearing these other bright or vibrant or distracting tops up top, otherwise it'll take away from the sneakers. It's a simple concept, really. But one more quote to make sense of all this is that less is more. Just keep it simple and just don't do too much. Again, at the end of the day, this is only my opinion, and really you can do whatever you want. But hopefully, this gives you guys some logical and rational insight on how to style mismatched sneakers. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below though. Do you think mismatched sneakers are trendy? How long do you think this trend will last? Is this a trend that you plan on hopping on in the near future, or is it something that you've been doing already? So please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Tune into my channel every other Friday where I do an episode called Fashion Tip Fridays, and every other Friday I discuss fashion tips, hacks, trends, and things of that sort. Be sure to check out my previous Fashion Tip Friday episodes here and here. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.